would be great for humans to work with the earth and not against it, to become symbiotic with it and not a parasite. I think we are a bit of a virus on the planet right now. We are. So what a virus does, it consumes its host until it dies. So I think quantum computing is the future, and I think eventually we will have stable quantum computers. Maybe it'll take 20 years, maybe even 30. I've seen physically with my own eyes quantum computers and what they can do, and that's going to be a reality. It will mean we'll need to do new types of cryptography and algorithms in that sense, but I don't think it's anything we can't adapt to. There are certain things that quantum computers do really well, and other ones that they don't do very well. So it's not going to remove all computing that we know today. That will still exist in certain ways, shapes and forms, but quantum computers allow us to solve things and do things that we couldn't do before. So you could model a lot more of scenarios. I spoke about quantum computers at the IBM conference this year. Well, I talked about, could quantum computers break blockchains? There's a mathematical paper written where it basically says you need 1,040 qubit quantum computer to crack Bitcoin, which is actually cracking SHA-256, which is a type of cryptography which actually most systems run on. Like email runs on that. So if you cracked a quantum computer, you could just read everyone's emails, which kind of wouldn't be cool. And you crack into most banks and things like that, which again wouldn't be great. Bitcoin also would be very vulnerable with a quantum computer around. It's a very real and an actual thing. And we talked about that. They've got about a 30 qubit computer running now, and there's a lot of stability issues that are required to do that. I think humans, when they apply themselves and there's a huge prize at the end, they do amazing things. What kind of society do you want to live in? How is that society operated? Most societies, I think privacy has died maybe 10 years ago. I think governments can look inside almost anything. There are specific and active movements to create things which remain private. And I personally believe in privacy. I think it's a resource. It's fast decaying, and it's something which I don't think people actually valued or realized that it was valuable. I do think there's a huge decay and loss of it. I think the pendulum, like everything, will swing back the other way as well. So we kind of gave all our privacy up, and now we're going to go, wait, we wanted some privacy, and then we'll bring it all back. Unfortunately, Australia passed some quite controversial laws that everyone sort of let happen. I don't know exactly where that sort of allows us to sit. From a worldwide standard, it is quite, privacy is dead in Australia. If you read the published legislation that was passed around privacy, it essentially allows the government to view pretty much all information, and it to be illegal not for you to basically, hand that over. They have a back door into everything. Rights versus responsibility. I would like to see some rights in Australia, if you're talking about this. I don't really talk a lot about politics because I'm really uninformed, so probably most of my views are going to be really bad. I don't really focus too much on politics, so there's probably smarter people that are really good at that. I have some very bumbly and loose ideas. At the end of the day, for me, I think, ultimately you should take personal responsibility for yourself. I think what you're talking about is, where does that end, where you don't have any choice, and therefore there should be rights. And I do think in Australia we should get some rights. So in America there is a Bill of Rights. We don't actually have a Bill of Rights in Australia. There is a constitution, and loosely within that is some sort of rights. It's not written in that way. You don't actually have rights in this country as a citizen and as an individual, whereas I think we should have some explicitly written. I shouldn't say that, but that's... What
do you mean by that, though? So if the police come to me and try to arrest me, and I don't have any rights? Is that what's that mean?
There is no Bill of Rights in Australia. Okay. So in the US, there is a Bill of Rights that it is, you have the right to do this, you have the right, to do this, you have the right to do this, to bear arms, to freedom of speech. It's not explicitly written in Australia. It's written into the Constitution in a loose and loose way, but it is not clear as explicitly saying, as an individual of Australia, you have these rights. I love people who emphasize their responsibility, because I'm that kind of person as well. I think, but I'm relatively lucky because I live in, a lot of the time in a country where you don't need to exercise your rights on a regular basis. I love America. I love all countries. They're great. I think we do live in a very lucky country in that, you don't have to do large amounts of bribery. Most of the world, bribery is normal, very normal. But there's not, this is a lucky country in that sense. There's still bribery in this country, but it's just done in a different way. I always think there's a choice, and the choice is either change what's happening or exit.
So where do you see yourself personally in, say, the next 10, 20 years?
I think that I want to build a company which globally helps people all around the world make decisions about their life and making great decisions. I think I will have mastered some other type of business, and I think I will become a more and more refined individual and continue to master myself and become the best version of myself. That's probably the one thing I'm excited about and working really, really hard on. I will one day, and I've said this to myself, but this is something, I will go to space.
They do have, I guess, tickets, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay, and you would buy a ticket one day?
100%.
Okay.
Are you going to take a selfie in space?
No. I'm not really a selfie person. Other people take photos of me, and then I have a person who catalogs that and puts that onto my social profiles. I'm not a selfie person.
What are your top 3 tips for businesses marketing themselves using SEO or digital mediums?
So I think SEO is a long game. It's a long-term investment. It doesn't happen overnight. If you need to get traction fast, I would not say that is the best approach and way to go. It's a brutal game. It's become very, very, very difficult. If I was a new business and I was trying to gain traction, I would focus on emerging new channels and mastering those tactics. So I know a lot of people who have mastered Facebook and Instagram and things like that. And they're exactly the same as SEO. It's just different. It's just a different medium. It's all the same. It's an algorithm. There's a computer on one side and you're on the other. And you need to play the game. And you just need to master it. The first thing I would say is try a lot of things. And then figure out an angle that works. And then focus on just that one thing. And become masterful and incredible at it.
Thanks for hanging with us on the Convo couch, and thank you to Fred for coming on today.
Thanks very much. Guys, subscribe. These guys are awesome.
Thank you for that, and don't forget to check out the links below to hivex.com and finder.com too. See you next time.
Hey guys, we're on the Convo couch this week. Check it out. Learning some inspirational stuff. I actually think I talked about space and the future as well. This was some incredible talk. Guys, check these guys out. They're really doing a great job. Join and subscribe. It's a great place to be. Obviously, guys, we've got finder.com. If you want to compare and find a great deal, you know where to go. And hivex.com. There's a cryptocurrency brokerage there if you want to buy and sell. See you guys on the Convo couch.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this episode in a series where we interview business leaders, tech innovators, and startup founders about their business journey, insights, and reflections. If you find value in this, please leave us a comment below, and also like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Enjoy!